I hope everybody is fine and enjoying. Today I'm going to talk about the humans. Humans might soon build planets. This is not a science fiction, but this is something that we can predict at least. Imagine a species that once chipped stones in African plains now rearranges the orbits of the moons, and one day soon builds a new planet from raw cosmic material. And that species is us. Today I'm going to show you why this future is not science fiction. It's physics, it's engineering, and maybe destiny. So the point is that how we can view this reality. To prose it, once upon a time, humans looked up at the night sky and thought those tiny dots were holes in a giant heavenly blanket. We had no idea what stars were, no idea what planets were, no idea that we lived on a rock floating in endless space. A few centuries and we have touched the moon. We have landed rovers on Mars. We have sent probes beyond the solar system. We have photographed a black hole. We have created miniature suns in fusion reactors. And we are literally remaking the chemistry of Earth, the chemistry of the atmosphere of the Earth. We are no longer just the inhabitants of the planet. We are maybe becoming the engineers of worlds. Humanity's technological curve isn't linear. It's boom, it's explosive. What we can do in next years, maybe next 100 years, will dwarf everything we have done in the last maybe 10,000 years. A very sharp transition, whatever we have done. And when I say planet building, when I use this word, a phrase, people imagine a science fiction movie where humans create planets like the Lego blocks. But what am I trying to tell is that we have a real cosmic engineering going on in a more elegant fashion. Planet building can mean three things. We can at least compromise on those things. Transforming, turning the dead worlds like Mars into a living one. Mega engineering, like capturing asteroids, fusing moons, sculpting the environmentalists. So planet construction is something assembling the rocky bodies from raw material. And each of these is actually based on physics. We already understand. The question is not, can we do it? The question is, when we are going to do it. Terraforming, making dead planets alive. what could be the provisions? Let's begin with terraforming, the gateway to becoming a planet building species, terraforming those planets. Terraforming Mars is the most realistic first step, as it appears to be. And I would like to deliberate this blueprint that humanity is already exploring, thickening the atmosphere by releasing CO2 from Martian soil using heat or maybe orbital mirrors. Warm the planet by darkening the polar ice caps to absorb more sunlight falling on it. And maybe introduce hardy microbes that can survive in extreme conditions and slowly produce oxygen like cyanobacteria. Release water traps beneath the surface to form rivers and shallow seas, and build the essential magnetic shield, the magnetic field, to protect the surface from the solar radiations, from cosmic rays. We are not changing Mars into a second Earth overnight. It's not possible. We are turning it into a place where humans can breathe with the support. Then one day, maybe humans may live there without any support. We don't know anything about that. So terraforming is a slow. It will take centuries long, but it's absolutely possible. One can think in this direction. And Mars is just the beginning of this argument in the human species. The solar system, if we look at the solar system is full of the building materials. And when you look around the solar system, there are asteroids. Asteroids are full of iron. They're full of nickel, carbon, and water. Moons the size of entire continents. Gas giants with enough hydrogen to power the fusion for the trillions of years. Comets carrying ancient ice like the bricks of rock. The bricks of rock, planet-making materials. We don't lack resources available to us in the solar system. What we lack is the tools to manage. But maybe the tools are coming. 3D printers that work in microgravity, fusion reactors, self-replicating robotic factories, AI-driven construction fleets. The solar system is like a hardware store. Humanity just needs the blueprint. It needs the blueprint of translating the resources of the solar system. So building a planet is the real science. To realize this argument, let's go to the heart of the story. How do you actually build? How do you actually build a planet? And let's make surprisingly realistic approach to realize it. The point one is capture a large asteroid. Use iron engines of solar sails to slowly adjust its orbit. The next step would be add the mass. Pull in smaller asteroids using automated tug drones. Gravity does the work. Place stick and pack together. The step 3, heat and melt the interior of the asteroid. The powerful fusion-driven lasers or microwave beams melt the core. Molten material naturally differentiates into the layers, core, mantle, and crust. The next step will be shape it with rotation. Spin the forming planet to in out the surface. Gravity smooths it into a spherical body. The next step would be add the atmosphere and oceans. Import icy comets for water. Release greenhouse gases to stabilize the temperature, and then seed the life. What am I trying to tell is introduce extremophile algae and later on introduce the plants. This certainly sounds like cosmic magic, but in reality it's physics. Gravity plus heat plus time can make planets. And nature builds planets without hands. We build them with the tools. And the final argument should be why humanity will do this. Why we can go in this direction to make this assumption that humanity is going to do this. Why build planets? Why not just enjoy the earth that we are living on? And to answer this question, survival, expansion, and evolution, they are a key. Earth will not last forever. Humanity's population and energy needs will explode. And Mars and other worlds will become colonies. And colonies will become nations. And maybe the nations will compete, collaborate. It's the competition that makes them collaborate and then innovate. And finally, eventually, we will master the engineering. We will master the planetary engineering. We build bridges, roads, skyscrapers, networks. Planet building is just the next step in the same framework. And humans reshape their environment. Always, how, and always they will do it. They will perform it. And if I imagine the first human built planet, to imagine this, imagine the first artificial. Now you will call it artificial, but it's all coming from nature. The first artificial planet, a world the size of the moon, orbiting peacefully between Mars and Jupiter, constructed from millions of asteroids with glowing rings, blue oceans, red deserts, a world that begins as mental and ice and ends as forest and clouds. A world named by humans, a world built by humans, a world inhabited by humans, that moment will echo as loudly in the history as the first time a fish might have crawled into the land. So there can be a far future planet. And once we master building planets, it won't stop there. There's no way that it will stop there. Worlds shaped like spirals, worlds engineered for specific climates, worlds designed as vast scientific laboratories. I'm using the word worlds. I'm not using the word worlds. World. Worlds that glow in the night. The worlds that orbit an artificial sun. Civilizations millions of years ahead of us may already be doing this, may already be performing this, and maybe we are the next. We are the next who are putting up the beginning of designing and building these planets. The cosmic destiny that we can predict at this moment of time will be like we are the universe made conscious of. We are atoms that learn to dream. Maybe we are the dust. We are the stardust organizing itself into the hands, minds, and machines. And soon we will be the architects of the planets. When future historians look back, they'll see the past. They will not say humanity explored the solar system. Their arguments will not be like that. They will say humanity reshaped it, rebuilt it, and did its best. And one day, maybe sooner than we think, the first human-built planet will shine in the darkness. And a child will stand on the shore, look up at unfamiliar star and whisper and say, we made this. We did it. We built it. We did it. So I can create a short statement here that nature has given species like us a power to not only to explore but to build what is impossible, what seems to be impossible for other species.